Hello class. In this video I'm going to show you how to get things set up in Enscape and get it exported from Enscape to be able to use and then edit an image in Photoshop, which is what this assignment is about. Now, if you can't export from Enscape because you don't have Enscape, I do have a video of how to do it directly from SketchUp, which is okay, but Enscape is much more fun and will produce more interesting results. So that's what this is. If this is what you're doing, then follow along. So the first thing you'll need to do is pull up your Enscape buttons to make them easier. Mine are set right here. If you don't see them and you have it on your computer, just go over any empty toolbar space and check on Enscape and then Enscape capturing. Two different toolbars, they'll come up somewhere. You can organize it on the screen as you need to, and then hit the play button or the start Enscape button. And when you do that, it might take a few seconds, so I've already loaded mine up. It'll bring up a new window with Enscape in it, and you can see in this case I'm really zoomed in tight on the house and I get this sort of highly realistic rendering, which is good to go. So a couple tricks for this assignment that I want to show you. The first one, I'm going to jump back to SketchUp, and I like to work in Enscape with the synchronize view button clicked on. So I'm going to click on the synchronized view, and you'll see what happens is, because in the last video I set up the view the way I wanted it, now when I hit that button, my Enscape view is going to go to a matching view, just like that. So we can see, there we go, it looks good, and I'm matching, I got the matching view, the one that I want. So that's a useful trick. Now the other thing I want to do, at least for this assignment, is I want to get rid of the sky and the sort of the horizon line in the background and all of that stuff. Now if you were just exporting from Enscape and that was it, or you didn't have a lot of time, playing with the sky in those settings, perfectly fine. But this assignment is how to take a rendering from a rendering software, and this could have come from Revit, just the same, and enhance it and make it better using Photoshop. And that's what this practice is for. And so we can make better skies and better backgrounds right in Photoshop. And so to make our life easier in Photoshop, we want to clean this up a bit. So I'm going to come back to SketchUp, and I'm going to go to my settings tab, which is right here, the eyeball tab, and I'm going to go to atmosphere. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to check on this white background, and we can see when I jump back to Enscape, now that's all set as white. That's going to allow me to easily select everything and delete it out of the way and put whatever back there I want, because again, a lot of great Photoshop work is just that. It's especially the background, but some foreground stuff as well, but just collaging stuff in, and the white background is going to make that easy for us. So I'm going to slip this note into the middle of this video, and I'm jumping in from the future here, but why don't you go ahead and delete the grass, because I think for this particular assignment it's going to be easier to do grass in Photoshop. It'll just be easier if you delete it here. So before you go and export this in Enscape, just delete the grass, and then you can follow the steps on how to export. Sorry for the intervention, but now back to present me. And then the last thing you want to do before you give this thing an export, I left my visual settings up. Again, that was this button right here, but I left them up because you want to go to capture and you want to set your resolution to something decently high. So I kept Ultra HD, as something pretty good. You could go higher if you wanted to go to custom, but Ultra HD is good to go. Adjust any other settings you see if you want to have fun, and you're ready to go. And we can close that down. When you're in Enscape, you can change the shadows if you want here as well by using these settings, time of day settings. And really, I'm going to do a daytime rendering. But if you are using Enscape, and you want to do an evening rendering, ideally more something like sunset or sunrise than fully night, go ahead and give that a try. Just change your time of day. The steps in Photoshop will essentially be the same. You just have to pay attention to how bright things are. So give that a thought. And once you have the image, this is just a preview image in Enscape we're looking at right now. Even though it's still pretty good, what we want to finally do is export this to the high quality to get it ready and into Photoshop. And so what you're going to do is jump back into SketchUp, hit the export button, which is right here, or render image button, and we'll hit the render button. You can save it somewhere, and once you have it saved, we'll open these things in Photoshop and get to work. So I'll use another video to start with the Photoshop work. So see you there.